Hey guys, I know it's been a while. Again, I fucked off again, stopped posting again, after saying I wouldn't again. So, in usual fashion, I mean, we've all seen this before. I disappear for a month to a year. You tell me how long I'm gonna be gone. Who the fuck knows? Nobody, not even me. And then I come back with a video of me scrolling through Greg's Twitter. That's what we're gonna do today. We're really sorry again about the what is this, the fifth or sixth unannounced hiatus. I'm not good at this regularly posting business. I'll take a few days off because, life gets in the way, and then I'll come back. And Greg is just in a completely different place than he was in before. And that just makes it even harder to come back. So I just put it off and put it off and put it off. And then finally, I'm so lost. I can't even begin to figure out what the fuck he's doing. And someone sends me an ask saying something ridiculous like, hey, Greg started a Patreon. And then I have to start up again because I can't not talk about the fact that a man who makes six figures on YouTube is now receiving $4,800 a month on Patreon. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Sit on that knowledge without bitching about it? No. So here I go. Once again, we're going to scroll through Greg's Twitter and try to catch up on some of his nonsense. And I hope that you like it, and I hope you can forgive me for being such a flake. So, I'm also eating some popcorn, just in case you hear that. I'm sorry, I know that people don't like it when people eat while they're making audio, but this is who I am. You followed me, and now you have to put up with my incessant bullshit. I mean, unless you don't want to, then I'm sorry, I'll miss you, but I'll understand because I'm the type of person who eats popcorn while making a video, and it's perfectly understandable that you wouldn't want to be around me or my content anymore after that. So, I mean, we're already starting off on a bad foot with some bullshit about Cutters, which is a surprise to no one, but I'm shocked that he's still fucking talking about it. Like, you would think after that whole email fiasco, he would have just stopped for once in his life, but Greg can't stop doing anything. Even when he says he's gonna stop doing something, he's back on it in a day. And here he is now, again, talking to little girls about the size of their breasts, which, is completely transparent. Like, I can't speak for everyone, and I know that there are plenty of adults who are insecure about their bodies and, probably even their breast size, but in the grand scheme of things, there are probably a lot more teenagers and young women who are insecure about the size of their breasts than adult women. And so essentially Greg is just, again, talking about the breast size of 12-year-olds, masking it under body positivity and getting away with it. And really he's just a fucking train wreck who has an audience of mostly 14-year-old children. We all curse censorship till someone censors someone we don't like. Then we applaud it. We need to be more honest. Oh yeah, here's Mr. Honesty again. Damn, Greg, you'll back at it again with the big honesty. Yeah, okay, you're pissed off because YouTube decided that they didn't want to put advertisements on your videos where you show children in their fucking underpants. That was a long time coming. Sure, I'm pissed off about the YouTube regulations too. I think it's bullshit. I think a lot of good people are suffering, but I also think that you should have been done away with a long time ago. I think your videos should have been demonetized a long fucking time ago. It's not about censorship. Yes, I'm happy that you're not getting as much ad revenue as you have been. Yes, I'm happy that YouTube is making it more difficult for you to put up videos that make it easier for you to predate on children. But I'm not happy about the new regulations. I don't think that videos pushing a Nazi propaganda should get ad revenue. But I also think that YouTube should be proactive in removing those people from their website. What they're doing is lazy, it's inconsiderate, and it's screwing over small YouTubers who don't deserve it. But I'm not for a second going to say that I'm not glad that you're getting demonetized in any capacity, Greg. And while we're on this topic of censorship, how hypocritical is it that this fucker is going on about censorship? I don't know how it is on his new website, but on his old website at the very least, people couldn't even say that they weren't vegetarian without getting banned. There were users and anti-O's who, if you mentioned their name in the website, it would filter it out. So don't talk about fucking censorship like you know a goddamn thing. You're just as big of a hypocrite as everybody else. You're for censorship until it applies to you and your videos. Fuck you. This is why I censor now. This happens constantly. If you don't like it, please become a patron. Thank you so much. So I see his gig now. What he's doing is editing his videos in a way that doesn't appeal to his audience. He's just trying to manipulate his subscribers into paying his salary for him, which is shitty as fuck, especially since I know that he's probably been hit to an extent by this whole censorship and advertiser-friendly bullshit, because like everyone has, but he's got so many channels and so much content that I highly doubt he's actually been impacted as much as he's trying to say he has. And furthermore, it's fucking bullshit that he's trying to act like the swearing and everything is the problem with his Obro videos. I mean, I feel like showing teenagers in their underpants and talking shit on cutters and body shaming and attacking YouTubers personally about their eating disorders, I feel like all of that would make videos a lot less advertiser friendly than just, you know, saying fuck or showing a picture of a girl in her bra, etc. He's trying to pretend that that's the reason so he doesn't have to, you know, face up to the fact that his videos are just widely perceived as inappropriate in a lot of different contexts. And in doing so, again, is manipulating his audience into paying his salary for him. I'm sure that $4,800 probably is fucking nothing to him, but it's a lot to a lot of people. He's just using this new algorithm as an excuse to steal from his viewers, and that is so disgusting. A lot of YouTubers can get away with swearing. I, however, have been targeted / demoted by YouTube, so I have to bleep. My patrons, my heroes. Dude, listen, okay? Shut the fuck up. It's not about the swearing. If you don't understand that swearing isn't what's got your videos flagged, then you're a fucking moron. There are a lot of other topics in play here. He attacks other YouTubers. He says horrible things about self-harm and rape and a lot of other shit. Pretty sure he makes fun of people with mental illnesses. He makes fun of other countries. He's just a dick, you know? He's just a dick. It's no surprise to me that he's gotten a lot of his videos demonetized, but he doesn't even fucking swear that much, unless he's yelling at Blair White. He's blaming swearing here, when it's probably, in reality, a whole other sack of potatoes. Yeah, you aren't an advertiser-friendly channel. You make jokes about killing your own child. This is why I need Patreon to survive. My earnings are still a fraction of what they were. One graph views, the other earnings. I mean, I'm not a huge expert on YouTube and how their advertising revenue works, but what I do know, based on what I've heard from other YouTubers, is that there are ups and downs in your revenue based on the time of year, who's putting ads out at what time, who's giving you sponsorships, etc. So around Christmas and New Year's, you get a big spike in your ad revenue. You get a lot more ad revenue than you normally would because there are a lot of advertisements around the holidays, but then after that there's a huge drop because obviously those ads go away because it's not Christmas anymore. I can't really be asked to trust this graph in Greg's case specifically, because the graph alone, it doesn't explain why his earnings have dropped, it doesn't explain how much he was earning when it did drop, etc. I'm gonna say what he and Lainey say to everybody who makes an accusation or crosses them in any fashion. Where's your proof, Greg? Why don't you scroll through this graph? Why don't you show us all the videos that have been demonetized? You're a dick. See, and here's another thing. He's over here bitching about other kin without even taking into consideration that a lot of other kin are children, like young teenagers and shit. We all did weird shit when we were teenagers, okay? Everybody has their opinion on other kin. I have my opinion on other kin, but I'm not going to discuss it right now because it's really none of my business what people do on the internet. If they're not hurting me or anybody else, I don't care. But Greg here, like, he bullies groups of people. He bullies kids. He bullies everybody who doesn't follow his line of thinking. And then he wonders why his videos are getting demonetized. He wonders why he's being censored. Well, you're okay with treating everyone who doesn't follow your line of thinking like garbage, so isn't that a form of censorship in and of itself? Getting complaints about how well I treat my patrons. Just because other people give their patrons barely anything doesn't mean I have to. I feel like he probably wrote this himself. I mean, I can't really imagine that somebody would actually take the time to tell somebody that they're giving too much to their Patreon patrons. Like, I feel like he's just trying to pump up how much he's giving to his patrons. Look at me. I give my patrons way more than everybody else on Patreons gives their patrons. Shut the hell up. Why does he still make these memes? Do you think it's fucking 2009, my dude? These were over in like 2012. And that's being generous. Like, the last time I saw widespread use of these types of memes, unironically, was like 2010 or 11. Like, literally, dude. My god. You're embarrassing yourself. Your age is showing so hard right now. Thanks for coming to the live stream. We talked a lot about how narcissistic people who call people narcissistic are. Well, of course you would think that because you're a narcissist, Greg. People call you narcissistic because you are a fucking narcissist. You're calling everyone who ever called someone a narcissist narcissistic. So doesn't that make you narcissistic? This dude, this guy. I can't understand when people go, I can't believe you let your husband do/say this. Could you imagine if it was turned around? I can't believe you let your wife do/say this. I'm so fucking sick of people trying to use this as an excuse to be cunts. Imagine if it was a woman who did this. Imagine if it was a woman who was told that. Imagine if a man said this to a woman. I don't fucking care. Okay? Yes. If a man was married to a woman who did the kind of shit that Greg did, I would want them to tell them to fucking stop. If Greg was in Lainey's position and Lainey was in Greg's position, I would be critical of either side the exact same way that I am critical now. It has nothing to do with gender, and making it about gender is just, it's such a thinly veiled excuse. Like, it's excusing Greg's behavior, it's excusing Lainey's inability to tell their husband to shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of their inane use of logical fallacy to back up everything they fucking do. Someone who is friends with everyone is friends with no one. You can't be the friend of the hunter and the prey, as friends do not betray. I mean, I don't know how you would know anything about this, Greg, because you are also a friend to no one. You have no fucking friends. Weren't you the one who said, people who have never been in a three-way relationship have no right to speak about what it's like to be in a three-way relationship? Okay, well, people who have no friends have no right to speak about what it's like to have friends. You have no friends, Greg! No one likes you! Oh my god. He wrote music video lyrics in a death note. What a fucking weeb. This is ugly. It's really, really ugly. Not the art. Like, it's good art. It's just that it's Greg's face, which ruins it. Because Greg is ugly. This is the most rewarding Patreon I've ever contributed to. If I could, I would give so much more. Well, I mean, it's easy to be rewarding when all you're doing is providing uncensored versions of videos that are free on his YouTube channel. I would not pay just to hear him say fuck, like once a year. He doesn't swear. I mean, again, unless he's yelling at Blair White, then he swears a lot. Watching my spouse go through hardship at the hands of the same ex starting crap after all these months. When will you finally stay gone? Hopefully never, Greg. I hope she spends the rest of her life trying to make you miserable. I hope every fucking day, until the day you die, she posts a new disturbing fact about you and your lifestyle on Twitter. I hope she never leaves you alone. And that's not even, like, mentioning the fact that you're such a fucking hypocrite. You're complaining about an ex never leaving you guys alone. You have never in your life left one of your exes alone. Like, of course, the reason he's not harassing this ex as he has in the past is because he knows what it could lead to. He knows that people aren't going to stand for it anymore. He made that bullshit apology talking about, oh, he's sorry, he's a horrible person, all this bullshit. You did that because you got caught with your ass showing, not because you actually care. I hope Billy does everything in her power to torture you for the rest of your life. Because that's the penance you deserve for treating all of your other exes the way you did. For doing what you did to Sky, for doing what you did to Shiloh, Adrian, even fucking Lainey. I have no idea what these fucking emails are about. I have no fucking clue. And I don't really care. There's really no way I could ever think Greg is more of a piece of shit than I already do. It's kind of redundant at this point, you feel? And he's still harassing Eugenia Cooney. Dude! Just let it go. Just stop talking about her. Stop doing it. Just leave her the fuck alone. I feel kind of bad about how much content I'm putting on my Patreon. I don't want to annoy you, but I also want you to get what you paid for. God, retweeted by Humblebrag, am I right? Like, he's just sitting here for days. For fucking days. Hyping up how much shit he puts on his Patreon and trying to disguise it as like, oh, I'm sorry for how much I put on my Patreon. I'm sorry for clogging up your Patreon. Oh, people are telling me I put too much content on my Patreon. Did I mention how much content I put on my Patreon? Oh, I put so much content on my Patreon. Shut up about your Patreon. It's already providing you with almost $5,000 a month, which is a living wage, I hate to tell you. Maybe it's not ideal for someone who's accustomed to the lifestyle that you live, but $5,000 a month goes a long way if you know how to be a responsible person. My family and I live on like a quarter of that. We get by. Really, Greg? Really? Really? We're making exploding ovary jokes about Dan Howell, Jensen Ackles, and Andy Biersack. What fucking year is it? Really? What year is it? Exploding ovary jokes. I mean, I could even understand Dan, alright, but Andy Biersack and Jensen Ackles, it must be 2011, like it has to be. Lanny has been cool to my family for years, and some of them are still rude, so we're laughing at the idea of Lanny saying screw it and intentionally being a bitch. Isn't your beloved mother one of those people who still hates Lamp? I'm just saying, but if your mom hates Lamp, probably isn't a good idea for Lainey to intentionally be a bitch to her. These are clearly all written by Greg, and maybe I'm just being an asshole, maybe I'm biased, but it's really not that far of a stretch based on the language that's used here. He's such a little bitch that he has to give himself compliments to pump up his own ego. Just released over 50 never before released songs for my patrons. Really? Over 50? As much as I hate to give Greg 1 red cent of my money, it's almost tempting. It really is. It's almost tempting to sub to his Patreon for 1 month, just so I can go through and mine all of the shit and post it on my blog. Like, I'm being for real right now. I'm probably not gonna do it just because, I mean, again, I don't want to give Greg 1 cent of my money. But 50 songs, my guy. 50. 5-0. And if those were too bad to release in comparison to the crap that he thinks is good enough to release, I hate to hear how horrible those are. Is he really referencing I'm a Banana in 2017? Is that actually happening right now? Like, all of this super amazing bullshit that he's putting up on his Patreon, to me, just seems like a bunch of rehashes of old shit that he didn't think was good enough back in the day. Like, here's a free ringtone from that one popular thing I did 7 years ago. Hope you enjoy it. Are you fucking serious? By popular demand, I'm going to talk about cutting. I'm going to talk about body image, depression, etc. Despite YouTube demoting those videos. I mean, I'm sure if you were doing it in a way that's, you know, inoffensive and not creepy or dangerous, you wouldn't be getting demonetized. I'm just saying, because I'm almost positive that if someone just made a video about body image without it being horrible and offensive, they probably wouldn't get immediately demonetized the way you are. No one likes your music, Onision. LOL, I'm a banana. Well, my guy, that was 7 years ago, and the only people who liked it were, like, you know, 8th graders. Correction, this was 8 years ago. So my friends and I liked this when we were 14, when we were like straight out of 8th grade. And that's because the internet was at the epitome of random culture. Anything brightly colored and random that used words like waffles, tacos, or banana was a huge hit with the middle school crowd back then. And this is largely irrelevant now, so here's another one. Multiple people have been commenting on the amount of times I update my Patreon a day. Apparently most YouTubers do it weekly. Not cool. Shut the fuck up. Ugh, at least like twice a day. He's made reference to how often he posts on Patreon. Like, dude, we get it. You post a lot on Patreon, alright? Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what the living hell? You, hey Greg, why do you want your druggy, liar, violent, and unstable ex-girlfriend back? Me, gross. No. You, her idiot BF says you do. Dude. Get over it. Just get over it. If it's not a big deal to you, then just don't fucking comment on it. Like, you literally said you weren't gonna do this. You literally said you weren't gonna be an asshole, but here you are calling her a druggy, violent liar and unstable. And honestly, I would not be fucking surprised if you did want her back. Because you're petty as hell, you clearly loved her more than your wife, and the second time you got rid of her, you went out of your way to find someone who was, by and large, just like her, to bring into your relationship, like, a couple days after she left. You sung her praises to the high heavens for the whole time you were with her, and yet now, she's an unstable, lying druggie with violent tendencies. Alright. You know, I've had enough of this shit. It's been 47 minutes. I don't know how long this video is gonna be when I'm done editing it, but y'all get the picture. I'm dog sitting right now. I have a whole house to myself and have carte blanche to be loud and obnoxious whenever I want right now. So hopefully I'll churn out some videos and content in the next 10 days for you all's listening pleasure. Sorry if this was boring or whatever. I really have no idea what's going on in Greg's life, so hope it was worth it for you guys to watch this video. And again, I'm sorry for the long-ass hiatus and for eating popcorn the whole time I did this. I love you guys. Talk to you soon, hopefully, and I'll try to start posting regularly again. Bye-bye.